Top of the day to everybody. Today is the 24th of September. It is a Tuesday morning. Went short on Bitcoin last night, made some profits through the day, got stopped out with my stop being a little too aggressive. And now you can see on the screen here, yesterday we were looking for structure above or below these levels. And through the day yesterday, we got that structure down below. Let's jump into the live stream and see how things are turning out. First of all, a quick look through the disclaimer, and then we can go on. This isn't trading advice, just market observation. Let's jump into some charts. Boom. Cuts the music. So we got Bitcoin holding out here. We've got Ethereum making a top formation. Litecoin did a major skewer down there yesterday at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Faked us out with this nice little breakout pattern. And if you didn't get your stop up underneath your position right away, bam, there's some liquidations going on there yesterday. We'll dig in closer to see what's going on with this specific chart pattern in Bitcoin and see what our indicators are telling us. Are we going to be going down further, or is it actually catching some support right here? Before we do, I would like to invite you to head over to the website introdocryptos.ca, put your email address in so that you can get a copy of this free webinar and complete training system. That way you'll understand more about what we're doing in the live stream. And I think you'll get more out of it. Now you can get a couple different supported paid access levels to the training that we're doing, in addition to this free stuff here and the free stuff over on Discord and the free training that goes along in the email series. You can also get some paid help as well. One of them is to become a patron sponsor and get access to our altcoin bull market watch spreadsheet, where we go through more than 200 coins daily and we review all of those. We have 9 happy sponsors right now on our patron group, and it would be great to have a couple more people join in there. And what you'll get access to is this full bull market watch spreadsheet, along with tutorial videos on how to make use of it so that you can have these advantages too. Let me pull this up. I just wanted to highlight this comment from OZK Dog from Australia. He said this morning, I'm enjoying going through the Intro to Crypto's alerts worksheet. I realized that I can avoid quite so much market scanning by using the work done by Doug here and AOL Chandra. And I really love it here myself. You can see some amazing stuff in the altcoins. For example, this alerts versus hold status right here that shows that a bunch of the coins went back from alert status. They pulled back, but not so many of the hold status coins pulled back. They're still holding their positions. And this is phenomenal because it lets us know exactly which are the coins out of the 200. Which are the coins we should be having in our portfolio now, and for how long too. You can also get the next level up is the paid sponsorship, where we give you the entry price, the exit price, the stop losses, and we track those trades all the way through. We give you screenshots for those patterns. And you can see here that we're holding 27% profit in CND, 11% profits in AGI, KNC we've been holding for a while. It's at 17% profit right now. And this is more of a trend following strategy. It's not a day trading strategy. We're not trying to catch little 5% moves in this. We're trying to catch the trend. So those percentage gains will change significantly as this bull market unfolds. Now we're looking at the price of Bitcoin, and yesterday this is where the live stream was. And we were looking for lower prices from here, and it broke pretty much right away after the live stream. I had a short position on before it broke, and I put my stop a little bit too close down at the bottom here. So just as it edged up here, it caught me, tagged me out, which is too bad. I was up 15% at that time. Would have been much nicer. It was a nice 10 times leverage trade. So I'm looking for a re-entry on this, but I need some more information before I take a trade, long or short, on this. And so I'm really keen on the live stream here today. Let's go into the long-term view. And let me go and check on the chat over here. Billy loves you, Bitcoin. Good for you, Billy. I love Bitcoin too. Shorted Litecoin. Got out at 64. Hey, high five on that. That was a tough one to short because it happened so damn fast. But high five. I love to hear it. AOL Chandra, hello, and high five to you. Thank you very much again for your work on those spreadsheets. It is amazing to have that assistance and to have the conversation back and forth about every one of those markets as we're color coding those sheets. So here we're looking at Bitcoin at the relative strength index on the weekly view. And this has been a favorite of mine for a long time. I've been watching for this kind of long, slow uptrend in this, and it really didn't do what I was expecting. It blew up higher, and I thought it was always going to come back and touch this and give us a few waves, much like we're seeing through here, so that we are establishing that big move up. But it broke really important levels here. I don't like the shape of that pattern. I don't like it at all. For a bull market, not at all. And the only time it's had a steady and then broken is at this level here. And that's not so good. So not so good for the bears, I mean for the bulls, but it gives us a direction. And if there's a direction, we can make money out of it. So no opinion on which direction it's going, just am I on the right direction or not? So now I want to pay attention to this trend line and this trend line through the next couple days, especially right now that we are at these support and resistance levels all the way along here and we haven't broken them. It's the only place. It's another one of the, like this was an only place. Now this is the final only place where Bitcoin can turn around and pick this up off of these areas. I thought it was going up here. I thought it was going up here. I thought it was going up here. And every time it failed. Now it's got to catch itself. It's got to build that structure up above these levels for me to get super bullish. I'm still expecting further down, especially with what we've seen in the RSI just alone here so far. A couple good really oversold territory here all the way along. That's actually pretty cool that we're hitting these same oversold territories all the way as the same as the charts. And so, that being the case, there could be a chance right at this tip here that we are going to pick up off of these levels, as we have every time off of these levels. So, now getting into this close range right at the tip is going to be more important, perhaps, than the long-term views. So we got a double bottom in the RSI and lower bottoms here. So that is a bit of a bullish divergence. If we go into the 1 month time frame, here is that super oversold area, not quite as oversold as we're coming down to lower areas. I like it. It's giving us a tiny little 1, 2, 3 formation in here. It's not big enough to make a decision on, but it is starting to get all of the points. We'll have to see if the rest of the indicators are liking it as much as the RSI is off of here. So this is really a turnaround feel to it right here out of this 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Especially since it's at the historical levels where the daily RSI has bounced up higher, I got to pay attention. So maybe it's a good thing that I had my stop so close right here and that I haven't FOMO'd back in either way and I'm waiting for a decision. Let's go back now to the next chart and go to on balance volume. This has been pretty much the same reading all the way through for weeks, saying that it's less strong on this side of that shoulder. And I would like it to be stronger on that side of the shoulder eventually. Here that we have this steady range of dumping doesn't mean the end of the world, but we do have to come up to a steady range of buying before we're going to pick back up. It just gives me a more bullish view. And then I want to grab the Fibonacci's and do a quick 50% level of the recent move from high to low. We're actually, it wouldn't go that deep to hit that 50% level. It would come back to these support and resistance levels here. So let's see, that would be the $7,500 level. 3 month level, still a bunch of selling going on here. Wrong indicator. Still a bunch of on balance selling. And I would have, and I have for a long time said that this is a bearish divergence in the on balance volume, that we have bullish here and bearish. That's a divergence, but the prices are going down. So let's zoom in. I'm less convinced about this indicator's value as time goes along, and I'm more convinced of Ichimoku Cloud. I haven't finished this one off yet. This is giving us a bullish divergence according to my prior way of reading this, and I'm still sort of hacking away using that. And we'll see how this continues to turn out, because this is a really bullish change, that we have so much selling going on here and then like very little here. The bulls are like losing interest in selling. So there's a few different things now. The RSI is liking this tip right at the very point. It was sort of liking it at this point here, but not quite as much. And I like the divergences that we're seeing so far in this chart, which makes me not want to go short right off the bat, though I'm still bearish from this stance. Let's take a look. We are on the MACD indicator. It's been negative for a while. The histograms are negative, but wait a second. Okay, no. We still have the rest of the week to unfold, but I wanted to zoom in on this to see what is the direction of these histograms. If they are still continuing to get longer, that's more bullish. I mean, more bearish. Let's see what the daily time frame tells us. More bearish. Give me my pointer. Let's go to the 12-hour time frame. Still bearish, not turning around, nothing holding this. Still looking like it's, this is still bearish, still going down. Not happy charts here for the bulls all the way along. So this is the first time we're starting to get right to the 1 hour again before we're getting any positive divergences here. I like that we have higher lows in this as we're coming to these lower lows. So this is the first little bit. That's a very small little area to be basing a trade on. I like to have a lot more than that. I like it to build some structure before I'm making a decision off of something like this. And if I make a decision off something small like this, it has to be a super small trade. So if I have $1,000 in my account, maybe I could put on 50 of a long trade on this as it's breaking out. And just so if it comes down, I lose maybe 5% of my $50, but that's a very small amount of my 1,000. You got to start off with just a small portion of your account that you're actually putting into the trade. And if you're putting on too much of your account into a trade, then you're taking too great of losses off the beginning of your trade. You are being greedy at the beginning of your trade, and you should be fearful at the beginning of your trade. I'll talk more about greed and fear in it, because it was fear that got me to move my stop loss down too close. Well, I don't know if it's too close. We'll see how it plays out. But I went short here and I got stopped out here on a 10 times leverage trade. Had I left it back here, we'll play it out in the next couple days. Would it have been a better idea to be less fearful of losing my profits? I was fearful of losing my profits, so I've moved my stop down. And that kicked me out of making potentially greater profits. And I have to jump back in. I have to figure it all out again too. So how you're using fear and greed in your trade is really important. And let's zoom in. Because the 15-minute time frame is giving more confirmation. This is giving a stronger divergence, but it has to cross positive again as we're breaking out above this for this to give me any more juice. And then it's like stage one, that mini stage of a trade. I'm really looking for something bigger because it could be building up and give us a larger divergence and then crash more. So not enough for me yet, but I like to see it. Let's go on to the Ichimoku Cloud into the 5-year view, or the weekly view actually. The same thing here where it's bullish and yet it'll stay bullish while we bounce way back down. This gives us a lot of variability and a lot of room. And I've been calling for this 75 to 6,500 for the longest time simply because of where this is staging against old historical levels. I get more convinced of that when we're into the daily view because it is a really bearish view where we have a negative cloud here. We have a negative crossover, the blue below the red. The green line is still not cut through everything and gone below it. So if this turns and starts to get skinny as we're dipping below these levels, that's big confirmation. Let's go zoom in now to the 12-hour view and see if we get any more bullish stance out of this anywhere here. No, this is still negative, 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 negative. All the way along, this is still saying hold your shorts. This one also, hold your shorts. Should have kept my stop loss back. According to this, I got into it. I was correct. I should have had my stop loss just below my entry. Let the market decide how correct I am. It's not my job to figure out how much money I'm going to make. And this is the biggest mistake I see traders all across everywhere making, is that you're anticipating your profits. And that's not our job. There's no way to know all the variables of what's going to make the price move. Our job is only to protect our losses, to reduce our losses, make sure that we don't lose money, leave the market do the rest of the job. We don't want to micromanage an employee. You never get as good work out of them. If you micromanage your trades, you're never going to get as good trades out of them. I micromanage this by moving my stop down too close, and it's not my trading plan. My plan is to have my stop just below my entry for the first stage of the trade until we get 2 support levels underneath me. 2. So this is only 1, and I moved it down onto the 1. I should have had another level of support, then I could have moved my stop to there. And we'll see how that plays out over the next few days, because if this goes down, then it just emphasizes that my trading plan was correct. My greed and fear got in there, and there's no greed and fear in my trading plan. It is very specific. So when I put my greed and fear in there, you can see, I'll give more examples as that unfolds. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin longs here. Way too many longs. Just way too many. It's just perfect for the short sellers to dump crap on this and break all of those stop losses and drive the prices way down further. And there's no greed and fear in that either. It's all straight mathematics. There's the human perception. Everybody's bullish. Even though we've been coming down these levels, the bulls are still holding their longs. And they may be correct. If this does turn around at this last little bit here that we saw, that we have just the littlest bit of strength here that's holding all those bulls into those long positions. But if we're cracking below that, expect to see all of those longs getting liquidated, and that we're going to have a very sharp move that is pushed by all of those longs having to get out of their trades. And I do believe it'll bounce up quickly, just because of the overall world economy and all of those things going on. That's a bigger push, a bigger force on the price of Bitcoin than greed and fear, which is where everybody is right now, with those long positions being too highly leveraged long in a market that is not giving us a bull flag. It's not giving us bull signals. So I just think we're going to take a big whack here. And what will happen to the alts while that happens? I was expecting that the alts would be rising as Bitcoin was falling. But this is the measure of what altcoins are actually doing against Bitcoin prices. So as this made a little formation here and broke higher through this level, that is a reversal and a continuation of the uptrend, which means that all of the alts are suffering. Bitcoin's going down and the dominance is going down. That means alts are going down faster than Bitcoin. And I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting that this chart would go the other way as Bitcoin broke out. So you always got to pay attention to the charts. You got to look both ways when crossing the street. I live on a one-way street and I look both ways before I cross it. Just out of habit. I don't want to break the habit of looking both ways and then walk out onto a different street and get hit by a car. So you always got to look both ways when you're trading. Always. And again, the first few stages of the trade that you will learn in our free webinar, we talk about stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 of the trade. Those are all defensive stages of the trade. Stage 4 is actually the only stage that you're adding on risk. Stage 5 is when you're taking your profits. So be sure to grab that course if you haven't already. I'd like to have you guys going along with me so that while I'm doing a trade and I'm talking about it, you can go in the live chat and say, hey, on this page you said something different. And more to the point, you can come and say to me, hey, you had this pattern that you learned in 1994 and I learned it here in 2019 and it made me profit. That is even more exciting because this trading plan that I learned was actually developed in 1930s, the early, mid-late 30s. And it works fantastic on cryptocurrencies. They really do well. I was listening to a thing by, I think it's Peter Brandt. He's late 70s. He's been trading for 40 odd years. And he talks about cryptocurrencies being ideal for following his old trading plan that was developed back in the 1930s as well. So it was really phenomenal to get his confirmation to the things that I'm actually seeing here. All right, so let's back over to the chat. Trato Rituto, good to have you along. And the Greek guy whose name you wrote out for me, give it to me again. Give me the English spelling of your Greek name so I can practice pronouncing it. And after the bulls got wrecked, it's time for the bears to get wrecked. It could be. This is a manipulated market. And we have all of these Bart Simpson formations that show that there's, without very much warning, we've got a 1, 2, 3 formation here that broke higher and really screamed. If you were trying to get in on this as it's screaming up right here, you can't. You're trying to do a market order to get a long position and the queue is full. You can't get through. You can't get a trade in. And by the time you do, it's usually the wrong time. And Niger man, good to have you along. I think that's how you might pronounce it. I wouldn't want to call you nigger man. I think that would be rude. But Nigeria, when you do the searches on Bitcoin, let me see. What is it? Trends. Trends.google.com. And you type in the search term for Bitcoin. And let's go the past 5 years. So for the past 5 years, you can see Bitcoin had a lot more interest back in 2017, according to the public. If I could get this to actually tag on something. Give it to me. Okay, so 94 searches a day in 2017. They are doing way better interest in Bitcoin. These are regions that are struggling financially, from my small little bit of knowledge, and they are hungry. They are smart people who, overall, it's all bearish. We have a little bit of bullish indication out of this potential 1, 2, 3 here, and I'm not really buying it. I still think we were going down significantly more. I don't think that we have enough juice to do something up, to bring it up like this, to wreck all of the shorts yet. There's not enough shorts to squeeze them. There is enough longs to give them a good squeeze. And once you pass those stop loss levels from those longs, it's going to really go hard. And so if there is manipulation, that's the way I would be manipulating it. If I had the tens of billions of dollars or whatever it is that's needed, that's what I'd be looking for. So I think I'll wrap it up for here. It's 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to get myself ready for 6 a.m. yoga. I'll jump off and take that morning meditation, and then I'll come back and jump into the charts. And then I'll be going through more of the details on the Poloniex Bull Market Watch spreadsheet here and the Binance spreadsheet. Go through, double check everything on these. Then my next part of the day is to go through every one of the alerts that we have, the active alerts, make sure the stop loss levels are in the right place. And next, I am reprogramming this so that it conforms with Signally. And all of these trade alerts will go into the Signally platform. You'll be able to hook up Signally to your trading account and trade these systems without having to watch them at all. Automatically trade it. And I'm super keen to do that because I really want to have it hooked up to one of my Binance accounts so that it saves me all that time. I'm doing all of the trading planning. Then I have to go over into the portfolio and do my trades myself. So if I can hook these both up together, that's just the cat's ass. And those are the things that are coming up. If you aren't already, come and join us on Discord. We chat about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies throughout the day, and it'll be great to have you along. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. There's so many great live streams out there. I am honored to have you along. So let me see. Any hope of the alts taking off? Hello from London. Beckham. Any hope of them taking off? Let's just do a quick look. Yes, actually. Let me pull this out. So we're looking at the 1 hour time frame. Let me just get the chart up bigger. I want to always pay attention to the 50% rule. Things coming back to the 50% level and back to support and resistance levels. Then I want to watch from here for the 1, 2, 3 formation. especially now that it's hit these levels. I want to give it time to consolidate like this. And as it does, I hope you're saying it in your mind, this is the nitro zone. And I don't have my silver trade open right here. Where is Discord gone? But you can see I was posting my silver trade here yesterday in the Discord chat. And so I'm using Bitcoin to trade silver. And as silver is going up, I'm making more Bitcoin. And so as it made this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here and started to break out, I put a limit order in. It came back, touched me in very nicely. It took off. As it was going, I added on and it kept going. It was just beautiful. It consolidated and was giving me the signals. I added on to it again and up it kept going. I've got stops above all 3 of my levels right now. And you can see on this longer time frame that it is what I call the nitro level. We're coming into an uptrend. Prices have come back a good amount. It's making a 1, 2, 3 formation. As it's breaking out, I want to unfold. And so it doesn't matter if you're trading gold and silver. It doesn't matter if you're trading cryptocurrencies. Those same chart patterns are what I'm looking for. And as this unfolds, then I'll be watching for it, especially in BCH and Ripple. Ripple has come back and given us a beautiful formation. Really, really nice. I'll go over these in detail at the 3 p.m. live stream over on the other channel for Intro to Cryptos. We go through the big 7 markets on BitMEX trading, and we're deciding if we're going long or short, long or short, long or short on all of these coins. Phenomenal setups here. And I can't wait to go through all of the indicators on these to see what is happening under the scenes with the RSI, the on-balance volume, the MACD indicator, the Ichimoku Cloud. When you put all those together with these chart patterns, it is nailing it. We are getting some really, really clean, clear signals. So let me see now. Slow distribution of Bitcoin to multiple hands around the world, then hiking to the moon in a year or 2. I think it's going to be like 2017. And I did this yesterday and put out a tweet about it as well, I think. So if I'm on the 1-year view and I drag this chart back, and we found this by looking at the logarithmic view of the chart. And then we could clearly see in that these top formations that are similar to what we're facing now. And these 2 are the big ones that are really similar. Move the chart back and you can see that big pullback. After these triangular shapes, we had a significant pullback, good 40%. And I can't get the data. Maybe I could, but I don't have it. Right through this triangle, I'll bet you the longs were there were too many longs. They were not wrong, but they were screwed anyway. The risk control rules. So that wraps it up here for today. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope this is helpful. I'm looking forward to hearing your success stories. I want to hear that you made money by following these 1, 2, 3 patterns, by following these the indicators, the moving averages. Great to have you along, and I'm looking forward to your success. Let me now sign off and get myself ready for yoga. Cheers. Bye for now.